Want to attend the legendary Thrivetime Show Business Workshop for free? Subscribe on iTunes, leave an objective review, and send us confirmation at info@thrivetimeshow.com to claim your tickets. Want to live in a van down by the river? Come by and see us at our Riverwalk offices, and we'll be able to make your dreams come true.
See, I don't know where that band is performing, what subway they're in, but I want to go there.
You want to be there, I can tell.
I want to be there.
Did I hear a wood block?
Yeah, there was the whole wood
awesome.
block. It's like someone was banging some kind of bucket. I mean, just an incredible subway band right there.
Incredible. Probably some overturned, jars or buckets. And
It's a musical buffet in the subway.
Now, this could be the shortest podcast we've ever done, unless it's not, because it's a podcast. There's no limit to how long it is or how long it isn't. The question is Mindset 101. How do you... People ask us all the time, well, yeah, I know you say that you become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, but what if it's different in my case? They always say, what if it's different in my case? You don't understand my case. What if I am an exception? So I'm going to lay out the rules. They're kind of like the gravitational pull of success or lack thereof. And I'd like for Z to break it down. And Luke Owens, you're a business owner. I'd like to get your take on this as the owner of a gym right here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So here we go. Z, principle number 1, your network is your net worth. Somebody says, but it's different in my case. My network is, I don't need to surround myself with smart people that are on time or who work hard. I just surround myself with idiots, and then I just view them as my mission field.
if you run with the dogs, you're going to get fleas.
Oh.
And if you hang out with the idiots, you will yourself do idiotic things.
And what happens is, principle number 2, is the people around you define your normal. So what happens is, over time, you begin to act like the people around you the most.
It's just affecting. I know a lot of people that say, I am going to be a positive influence on this person. I know they have all these issues and problems, but you know what? I'm taking it upon myself to let them enter into my inner circle.
Inner circle.
And then I'm going to be a positive influence on them. And that can be noble, and you might put some of your life energy into that if you're into that. But what I'm telling you is that at some point, and they teach you this in lifeguard training, water safety instructor lifeguard training.
Yes.
And that is, somebody's out there and they're drowning. Okay, and they're in the ocean, they're in a big body of water.
Help me!
Help me! And you swim out to them, and they will not. They're so panicky, they will not stop flailing.
Help me!
Because the natural tendency is if they can't get their panic under control, just like Clay is now. When you approach them, they will actually want to use you to leverage up to get up out of the water.
Get under me so I can push myself up.
And they will inadvertently drown you, and then you both will drown. So at some point, as mean as it sounds in the training, at some point when you swim out there, and if you can't get that person to reason and to stop doing what they're doing, then you have to just swim away from them and let them go. And I know that sounds mean.
But it's a podcast.
But it's a podcast.
Can I bring us back up with a lifeguard joke?
Not yet.
Okay.
we're still down. But my point
if
is
you bring
that
Bibles, right? If you bring enough Bibles to a strip club, eventually you'll look around. I'm telling you, I see this all the time. I see people who, in my office, in the years past, who are hanging out with an idiot on my team, and they'll go, oh, man, this guy's a bad person. This happens numerous times. They said, I'm just going to go out to lunch with him and kind of share with him my faith. Share with him my faith. Share with him my faith. I'm going to keep doing that. And then twice that I know of, they came to me later and said, here's the deal. If my wife calls, I was at the strip club, and it was just because we were going to go out to Fridays. Then we started going to Hooters every week, and then he just said, well, why not? And then all of a sudden, and I'm like, really? I'm not going to lie on your behalf. You should call. And I said, twice, 2 specific times this has happened. And somebody started out saying they wanted to just minister to them. They're going through a rough. I'm telling you, man, darkness typically will absolutely crush the light. It will just,
it can.
Extinguish it. I see it all the time.
And the problem is that unless you're really trained in that, unless that's your life calling, unless you really have a lot of good support in that,
unless you're a pastor,
you'll get sucked down to the quagmire. And the problem is that they rub off on you just like you rub off on them, is my point.
Yes.
And sometimes you just have to look at that person and say, listen, you're not healthy. You're not helping me move my ball down the field. And so why am I spending time on you?
And if you're a business owner, who are you spending your time with? Employees. And so if you allow idiots to work with you, pretty soon you start to think things like, well, I guess someone can't be held accountable to make calls because it's so hard to get my team to do it. I guess it's hard to get my team to clean the bathroom, so no team can clean the bathroom. So you start saying, I guess if I want it to be done right, I have to do it myself. Now, Tim Ferriss, the best-selling author of The 4-Hour Work Week and a successful early-stage investor in Facebook and Uber and Evernote, he says the people around you he says you are the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. He says, you are the average of the 5 people you most associate with. Luke, you're a business owner.
Yep.
You've surrounded yourself with people throughout the years. I'm sure some good people, some idiots. What happens if you surround yourself with enough idiots on your team?
Your business definitely does not grow, and you just become very frustrated. But what I've learned is that by surrounding myself with people like you guys and the Thrive team, very shortly that can change.
Yes.
And your business starts to thrive.
Sick. You mean you can't surround your business with a bunch of... Now, Z, think about this. I was telling... this is the analogy I was telling entrepreneurs. I said, imagine every employee who walks into your business has a number, okay? So if I walk in and I'm a 2, and you walk in, Z, and you're a 10, and Chup is a 10, and Luke is a 10, then there's a total of 40 points available, and your business is the average of that point total. So if you have a bunch of 2s walk into work every single day, you can't expect to have a 10-level output. I mean, customers, I'm telling you what, you talk about judgmentalness and you talk about being pretty finicky. Customers, if they exchange their hard-earned money for a good or service and it's not good, and it doesn't offer them the service, they're not coming back, man.
Ain't coming back.
And so you could be, Captain, I understand, and not fire people, and if that's your lot in life, then go for it. But it will absolutely contaminate your mindset, Chuck.
I want to say something that, people are probably thinking, and that is that, yes, sometimes being an idiot is fun, right? Sometimes not delaying gratification.
Look, Chuck, look how many beers I can drink. It's awesome. I just
put 8 of them in a beer bong, man.
It's awesome.
So that, people can have fun doing that, but the problem is when idiots are having fun all the time, they're not delaying gratification like Dr. Zellner talks about all the time, and you won't get anywhere on that path.
Can I tell you about my story about the naked Caucasian Buddha? Z, can I tell you about the naked Caucasian Buddha?
The naked Caucasian Buddha.
I used to have a company called
Please tell me the story.
DJconnection.com.
Okay.
And I told the guys after the event, after we hit our sales goals, I'll take you guys out to eat. So a young man on our team, there's about 15 of us going out to eat, and one guy on our team loved to eat, and he loved challenges. So a member of my team says, I bet you can't eat that entire dessert from this Italian restaurant. And this Italian restaurant, it was called Roma's or something. It said that on the menu, it says that, the calories. It's like 2,000 calories for like 2 slices, and the whole cake, the whole cheesecake has like 6 servings, or so it's an insane. It's like 12,000 calories, something crazy. And then he says, I can do it, but these are all things that are happening, but I'm at one end of the table, so I don't know the whole thing. I hear about it secondhand later. Long story short, the guy ends up eating the whole cheesecake, and he downs like 12 to 13 Long Island iced teas previous to us leaving.
That's a beautiful concoction.
So we're now in downtown Dallas, and downtown Dallas, there's that Hyatt downtown with the big ball on top, the big sphere.
Yes.
And we're there, and I told the guys, hey, after the work, after we have a great day at the bridal show, we'll get in a limo, we'll take you guys out to eat, and then we'll drive back, So I start asking the guys, hey, guys, where's that guy? Like, where did he go? And they're all saying, well, we saw him just a minute ago. And I'm like, guys, where was he? They go, well, he had like 13 Long Island iced teas that I know about.
He was a lot of alcohol.
So I asked one of the guys, I said, dude, how do you know this? He goes, well, I told him that for every one he bought, I'd buy him one. So that was our deal. I'm like, and I know I got billed for 6. And I'm like, okay. So we're looking around Dallas at like 11 o'clock at night. Now, this is the kind of stuff the guy did all the time, and I would never fire people like this until I finally realized he couldn't rely on these people. So it's like midnight. Now, the trade show, it's a 2-day show. The next morning, this trade show, you have to be there at like 7 a.m. for roll call. The thing opens up at 10. So it's like, getting close to midnight, and I'm going, where is he? And we're looking around. And those of you who are familiar with downtown Dallas, there's a Buddha that's on about a 20-foot tall waterfall. And it's like Star Wars. The scene where Luke goes out on that pedestal to fight Darth Vader for the first time, and Darth Vader cuts his hand off? It's one of those, like, if you fall, you're dead kind of moments.
Yes.
And we hear water rushing, and we hear this, like, help me, help me. And it's like, is that him? And I look, and there he is, about a block and a half away, somehow completely intoxicated and naked, holding the face of this Buddha. I need help getting down. And I had to spend my evening trying to get a hold of certain members of may or may not have been law enforcement community, trying to get a member of our team down. I'm not exaggerating. If you've been to downtown Dallas and you've seen this Buddha with the fountain, it's got to be 20 feet up in the air. I mean, a basketball goal is 10 feet. It's got to be 20. And underneath him is a very shallow pool of water all made out of marble. And he's like, get me down. And I'm like, dude.
You just climb up. You just took off his clothes and climbed up there.
I don't know. Do you get naked first? What's the strategy?
I really know. I've never climbed a 20-foot Buddha before.
Let me tell you what you do. No,
now, after I found this guy, we get him back. He's got like hypothermia because this is a winter show. Bridal shows are like in January. We get back to our trade show, and I'm like, guys, I need you to go to sleep. It's like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. We got to go to sleep because we got to get up like in 4 hours. I'm tired of this knuckleheadedness, and I'm so furious about it. I didn't ask where the other guy was. So I'm like, hey, have you guys seen Keith? Where's Keith? Where is he? And they're going, I thought he was with you. I thought we broke up. I thought he was with you. And so the next morning, we wake up, and there's a man laying in a pool of his own vomit in a bush right there in front of the Hyatt Hotel. And I'm like, dude,
stay classy.
And I thought about, dude, you got to get up. You got to forget it. And so like we went to the bridal show, and this happened about 2 years in a row. And Vanessa, I'd come back, and Vanessa's like, well, how'd the show go? And I'm like, well, we got one guy that woke up naked next to a Buddha in a high place. Another guy who was drunk as a skunk in a bush. And seems normal. And I'm like, how is that normal? She goes, it happens every time, babe. You're surrounded by idiots. You got to fire those people.
You're surrounded by, I am.
But because she wasn't in it, I thought it was like, see, just this is what business is. You're just doing
and they're DJs. I mean, this is what you get with DJs. These are how these guys are, And I've got to, it is what it is.
Remarkably similar to some construction stories. I'll just
That's what it was, though. And I'm telling you, the same guy that woke up drunk in the bush, one time he took a Honda big SUV and he ran it super fast, drove it super fast through the Union High School track.
Oh, wow.
Because he was trying to like impress buddies while intoxicated. So his vehicle's left in the middle of the Union High School football stadium with all my DJ equipment.
Nice.
You know what that's like, trying to get a hold of the law enforcement community and explain to them why your DJ equipment is in the middle of their, because there's a track that runs around the stadium and he's out there, and I'm just, that kind of stuff, see, that can become your normal if you're not careful.
Well, it became your normal,
right.
And you put up with it for years.
Dumb. Like 5 years.
Right, and there's somebody listening right now. There's someone listening right now going,
that's true.
That's me. That's
me. I'm actually drunk. How drunk were they?
I'm on that Buddha right now.
And you can hear them going, well, they're my brother, though. I mean, how drunk do they have to be before you know it's time?
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the final move. You don't want to take feedback or the advice from most people. Don't take feedback or advice from most people. I'll give you an example. The sales guy that's not performing wants to now set your new sales quota. The web optimization guy who's on page 7 of Google wants to tell you how to do it. The accounting guy who's gone into bankruptcy twice wants to give you accounting tips. The person who's not good at sales wants to give you advertising tips. The person called Simon Sinek who wrote a terrible book called How to Motivate Everyone.
Well, you're a bad leader if you don't.
Yeah. Chuck, will you pull up Simon Sinek's book title as I continue to pelt Simon Sinek with insults on a weekly basis? And then books written by con artists will teach you that doing the same thing every day, expecting a different result, is called insanity. No, it's called diligence. Just a thought. Now, motivational tips from get-rich-quick gurus. You got to be careful where you're getting your information from, man. You got to be careful.
You got to be careful. And the thing about it is, advice is like elbows. Everybody's got some.
Ooh.
Man, you know what? And so, unless you vet them, unless you really get a good understanding, I think that's one of the things that's been fun for us is seeing all the people that have vetted us now over the year plus that we've been doing the podcast / radio show. And our backgrounds and what we have accomplished and what we are currently still even accomplishing, and then listen to the facts that we just throw out there. It's kind of fun when you use facts to back up your story.
There's an example. Simon Sinek, he wrote a book called Start With Why. It's called How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. And I never miss an opportunity to share this story. But Dr. Z, I would consider you to be a very good leader.
Thank you.
I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to say I think Lee Cockrell's probably a really, really good leader. 40,000 employees.
I would agree.
Probably want to one-up Lee, though. I think GE, Jack Welch, he managed hundreds of thousands of employees.
Of the heap.
He's probably the best. But then I think one up for the Judeo-Christians out there. I think Jesus was probably a good leader.
Well, you think? Yeah.
No, then he didn't attend Simon Sinek's leadership classes. Because
Apparently
apparently
not.
Simon Sinek, his subtitle of his book says, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. And so you have to look at the source and you say, Simon Sinek, okay, I just want to see what businesses he's run because I think it's important we should look at that before.
Yeah, we're going to vet him a little bit.
Yeah, let's look at that real
Why
quick
not?
here. Yeah, I mean,
That's the advice we're giving you.
So he actually, turns out he went to college, so he went to high school there in Wimbledon area and in London. And then he decided to, go to college. So he went to college at London City University and he received a bachelor's, a BA in cultural anthropology from a university.
Well, there you go.
And there he began to write. And so I guess as he understands he understands because he gets it where you and I don't get it. Lee Cockrell doesn't get it. Jesus Christ didn't get it.
I didn't study any cultural anthropology. Did you?
What tips would you give Jesus on how to motivate everyone? Because apparently he couldn't motivate everyone. In fact, what percentage of people could he motivate?
Well, the thing, I would have said, hey, listen, this thing ain't working out so much. Just keep that water into wine thing going. We'll just get him. If we'll just give him a little tipsy, then I think we can motivate him better that way.
When Jesus was taking the loaves and feeding everybody, and he's multiplying and the fishes and the loaves, and the fish and the loaves, I would have walked up to him and said, Psst, buddy, in the future, because you're going to live forever, right? You're omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. There's a book written by a guy who went to college that will teach you how to motivate everyone. And it starts with the why. That's what you're missing.
And if you're not a good leader.
You're not a good leader. No, quit beating yourself up that you have to fire people occasionally. You have to. Chup, there's somebody out there listening who says, I feel bad that I have to fire somebody. I'm telling you, there's people out there listening saying, I feel bad that I have to fire somebody. Help cure them of this dis-ease.
Well, here's the deal. They don't feel bad about screwing you over. So quit feeling bad about firing them because there are people in your business that are stealing from you. They're lying about what time they clocked in. They're trying to put gas in their vehicle instead of the company vehicle. It happens every single time in every single
day.
business. So don't feel bad about firing people that are already screwing you over without feeling bad about it themselves.
And the deeper thing is this, and the thing we're challenging you on this podcast is firing employees and people that you're paying money to. That's almost easy compared to firing the friend who's an idiot and bringing you down in your life.
Who's talking in your ear after you get off a tough day of work and every single week just telling you can't do it, it's not a good idea, giving you stupid management advice, giving you terrible financial advice? Who's in your ear?
You don't need to do that tonight. Let's go to the bar. Let's go. You don't need to do that. Let's go do this. Set that aside. You're always working. Come on. Let's go.
Come on, man.
So the point is that firing, even pruning in your personal life, is so very important.
Probably the most important.
Personal prune.
Personal prune. I'm pruning my person.
If there's I never was a chance to endorse prune juice and the weekly regimen. If you've ever thought about drinking prune juice, if you drink a half bottle, you're going to need about 15 minutes from now.
A quart of prune juice.
You're going to
make an extra strategy.
Yeah, just
prune those idiot friends.
All right, now Thrive Nation, on our next podcast, we're talking about time blocking 101 and actually blocking out time to do what matters. Actually blocking out time to do what matters. We always want to end the show with a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a boom. So, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!